Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is a third-person shooter hack-and-slash video game developed by Saber Interactive and published by Focus Entertainment. It is a sequel to Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. Now let's go ahead and talk about my first impressions. Right before the release of this game, I definitely had high hopes for it. My expectations weren't through the roof, but I was expecting a good game nonetheless, especially after we seen all the trailers for it with the initial gameplay. That shit looked fire, and I was locked in from then on. I actually pre-ordered the game so I can get a copy of it early, as I am recording this on September 6, 2024. And yeah, I'm glad that I did that. I'm glad that I did that because y'all are getting these first impressions. So first of all, I will say the game looks good visually, and oh my god, that tutorial was fucking epic. Like the way you just fought through the jungle fighting the tyrannies and the hordes all by yourself, by your lonely. That shit was fire. I ain't gonna lie, that was some epic shit. That was a good way to introduce new players and even the old players to Space Marine 2. It looks like, oh my god, that shit was fire. The combat, the shooting, just you doing that shit by yourself, thugging that shit out by yourself, man. That shit was lit, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Again, the game looks great. It's beautiful. The color palettes, the greens, the browns, you know, the way the tyrannies look, the enemy types. Oh my god, I only got 6 hours into the game, but man, from what I've seen so far, the enemy design is on point. Not gonna lie to you. The combat feels good. It's hard for me to compare it to anything other than like Gears. The similarities are very small. I can't really put my finger on what the similarities are. And I want to say maybe it's the third person over the shoulder type of feel, but it is similar to Gears in a way, but it plays completely different. It plays completely different. I'm not gonna lie. Nowhere near like what Gears 1 through 3 play like at all. It gives me that feeling. I guess it feels nostalgic in a way, and it makes me want to play the game because I miss Gears, you know what I mean? And Space Marine 2 is his own game, but I guess that's the closest thing that I get to it for now. But it's really fun. I do like Space Marine right now, and I'm getting better with the game because at first it felt like the TTK was a little bit too fast, but I didn't understand the mechanics. Now I know that you got to run as the squad, and you know, y'all really got to communicate and work together. So the gameplay has shifted for me a little bit. I'm getting more kills. I haven't won a game yet, still ass at that, but I'm getting more kills, and I'm starting to figure out how certain champions play, and I really do enjoy that. The combat again feels really good. The shooting feels good, the melee feels good, and when you parry, oh my goodness, the parry is so satisfying. Yes, there is a parry in this game. It reminds me of when we had it in Mecha Break, and it was how satisfying that was to get the parry off, and it feels the same way within Space Marine 2. If you get that parry off, it feels good. Take down your enemy, chainsaw, shoot them down, it don't really matter. That shit lig, it definitely gives you a big advantage. So don't forget the parry. The online is smooth. The online is really smooth once you get into a game, and I'm gonna emphasize on that a little later. But once you actually get into a game, the online is smooth. I haven't had any performance issues, and I'm running that ultra performance mode. Turn that shit on ultra performance mode. I haven't had any issues yet. No latency. I haven't had any problems where if once I'm actually in a game that I get kicked from the game. I haven't had anything happen like that to me yet. So the online feels really smooth once you're in the game. The hordes are insane. When you see all of them shits in the background, it looks intimidating on low key. I'm not gonna lie to you. It low key look intimidating when you see the hordes just running in the background, going crazy, knowing that they're coming for you, and you start seeing them running towards you. It gives you a sense of urgency. Like you gotta brace yourself for battle, and you wish you and your homies, unless if you playing with 2 other people or just bots, it gives you that sense of really want to stand your ground and get into the fight and just running through the tyrannies and just doing what you got to do to get through that jam. Oh my goodness, the hordes are insane. Really do like that. The PvP, again, going back to that feels really good. What I don't like about PvP, or I don't know if this is just for anything in general, but for PvP specifically, now it shows that you can play 6v6, but when you're trying to squad up with your homies, it's up to 3. Well, so it's your 3 with a random 3 on your team versus the enemy squad, and it's their 3 and then another 3. And apparently you're supposed to play it like, okay, you and your squad as a 3 communicating, y'all go handle this objective, and then the other 3 they communicate and go handle that objective, and I guess y'all can talk to each other in game. But that doesn't really make much sense to me because it is 6v6. I never really seen that before. Hopefully they can change that. I would much rather team up with my 5 than, you know, just with my 2 and 3 other randoms. I wouldn't like that at all. The communication is just not there. So it makes it harder to win games because it's hard to communicate. It really is when you already have 2 others squatted with you. It just makes everything complicated. So I don't like that. So Saber Interactive, if you can change that, please do. Make it for us to squad up at 6 in the lobby. And then, you know, we can continue from there because, yeah, we would definitely prefer to squad up with 5 other people. And we go in there and we just run through the, you know, we take control of these lobbies. What are you talking about? The customization, deep customization. You can customize from the helmet, the chest plates, the gauntlets, your greaves. You can customize all that shit to whatever color you want. And you can play with it. You can mix and match. You know, you can have one leg red and one leg black, the top half purple, whatever you want to do, you can customize it till ends content. The customization, when it just comes to the color palette, is not as deep as what Mecha Break was if you played that, but it is pretty deep. And what's also cool, you know, you can customize the type of chest plates that you want, the different types of armor that you want to have on your character. So that's pretty damn cool as well. There's decent amount of customization where it will have you in there for hours, for sure, just to get the right color. And I love games that have customization because you get to really make whatever you want come true. You feel me? Put that imagination to work. You know what I mean? So I do fuck with the customization in this game. Oh, this is the biggest issue that I'm having with the game. I think this is my biggest gripe. Other than the service, but like I said, we're gonna get to that. When you are about to die as you're playing, while you're playing PvP mode, it seems like it's specifically for PvP. It seems like you get more feedback when you play in the PvE or campaign modes. But specifically when you playing PvP, when you're dying, you don't get much feedback. And what I mean by that is, y'all know how in Call of Duty when you're about to die and you get that feedback, whether, you know, the screen gets really blurry and it turns red, or you can hear your character start breathing all hard, or you can hear the heartbeat gets louder because you're about to die. It's really not like that in Space Marine. Only thing that I've noticed is the camera gets a little bit red, but it's very subtle. It's very subtle, and I don't catch myself looking at my health bar too much. So I tend to try to get out that jam later than what I need to, because I don't know when I'm about to die or when I need to retreat. So maybe Saber can figure out a way that they can boost the feedback on when you're about to die, and hopefully that'll help with me knowing, okay, I'm about to die, I need to get up out of here. You know what I mean? Because it's not really that much of an indication. Like I said, the screen gets red, but with all of the visual clutter on the screen, when it gets that way, you don't really know. You don't really know. And with the TTK being as fast as it is, it's really hard to really tell. So you can't retreat when you want to or when you need to. So hopefully they can fix that as well. Now I'll get into the servers and them acting up. So it was a couple times where we were trying to get a couple matches in with the homies, and we'll get into a lobby together. We'll start a match to play PvP, and one of us might not make it to the lobby. Or if one of us might not make it into the game, one of us might get stuck at the loading screen. And that is fucking annoying. Like, that happened a few times last night when we was playing, and it happened a few times today while I played as well. And yeah, it's just the servers definitely need some fine tuning for sure. Because like I said, it was a couple times where I'm like, yo, I'm not even in the game. Or, you know, it was a couple times they asked, y'all in the game already? Y'all in the game? I'm like, yeah, I'm in the game right now. And or it be vice versa. So the servers definitely need some tuning up. Also, I wish this was a thing. Hopefully they add this in the future, but I wish that you can switch over the shoulder. So, you know, when you're behind cover and you trying to, you know, peek, you can't switch the camera over the shoulder or not. Like, you can't switch which way you want to look behind cover. If you're behind some cover that has more cover going towards the right, you won't be able to see the cover going out the left, if that makes sense. I try to put something in the video so I can show y'all that example, because I know that didn't really sound too right, but I know what I'm talking about. I know y'all know what I'm talking about too, but I'll make sure I put that in the video. And it's the same thing. If you're behind cover and you're just trying to peek, you really can't, because you can't switch that camera over the shoulder. That would be a nice addition to the game. I think that'll up the combat tremendously. That'll be fire if they do that for sure. Also, the PvE has perks. I really didn't test those out too much because I need to level up my character, but I learned today that PvE has perks. I think that shit is pretty cool, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't wait to dive more into the PvE so I can unlock more shit and see how strong my character can really get. And I want to know how deep the campaign goes as well. It seems like this game has a lot of depth to it once you get into the nitty gritty of things. And I love that about Space Marine 2. Again, I only have about 6.5+ hours on the game, but I'm feeling it so far. It's definitely fixing that itch of what I've been missing when it comes to gears. You feel me? I'm fucking with it, man. But those are my minor gripes, and that's what I liked about the game. Again, the biggest thing right now is that you can't squad up with 6 people. It's only with 3, and hopefully they change that where we can squad up with 6 and not just 3, and we can run, because there's a lot of people in our community right now that has the game, but only a few of us can play with each other at a time, and that's no bueno. We need that full 6 squad up for sure. So Saber, if you're watching this, add that shit to the game, man. Quit playing with us. This is my first impressions. Again, I really do enjoy the game. Space Marine 2 is decent so far. It's decent so far. Like I said, I'm gonna hold my judgment on the score, and the review for the game will be coming soon. Try to get about 10 more hours in the game before that shit happens. I'm just yapping at this point, but do I recommend it? Hey, you have to see for yourself, man. You have to see for yourself. Again, I do like the game. I'm glad I did pre-order it, and I'm glad that I was able to play it early. You know what I mean? I definitely been enjoying the game with friends for sure. The campaign is decent. The PvE is on point. I really do fuck with that. And the PvP, once you get used to the combat, that shit fire. I see what I've been doing wrong, and I'm righting them wrongs. You understand what I'm saying? So this is my first impressions. Y'all make sure y'all click that card in the middle of the screen. Watch my other video. Get that watch time up there. I really do appreciate you. Thank y'all so much for coming through. Peace.